Something a bit different this week. This week's video was not going to be about this topic, but my friend Sarah, hi Sarah, sent me a video and it's just changed everything, including my to-do list. I have gone back and I'm excited, as you can tell from my energy. So some of you might be aware of a lady here on YouTube who also does Etsy content called Cara Bunting. Cara, if you're watching, hi. Maybe I should go back a bit more. I did a video on needs versus wants, and I've made a lot of videos recently on the topic of, get ready Mark, pivoting. So I had made kind of doom and gloomy videos about everything that's been going on and how it's affecting our shops. And the video that I made when I had COVID was for people like me who make want items in their shop, and how it might be an idea to try and pivot towards need items so that we can survive this thing. As a quick digression, I did read in the news this morning that apparently energy prices and food prices are looking to stay high here in the UK for approximately the next 2 years, which is fantastic. So in my head, I've got, right, you've probably got at least 2 years of this, providing nothing else happens. So that was my train of thought, this pivoting from wants to needs. And one of the things that I've got to do this week has been to start designing a more need-esque item. And I'm going to be honest, I just haven't been feeling it. If you follow me over on Instagram, you'll see that I have been procrastinating a little bit, hooping up stuff that I really don't need to make, but I've just started anyway. I'm digressing again, let's get back to it. That's where I have been, making doom and gloomy type videos, not really feeling it, but also knowing that this is what you guys are kind of worried about at the moment, and this is what we've been talking about. So I made this video, this want versus needs thing. And then my friend sent me this video by Cara and said, I think you should watch this. And I watched it. I could feel myself relaxing as I watched it. In terms of being an Etsy seller and someone who makes mainly want items, I had not thought about what she was talking about at all. And when I was listening to her talk about this, I was just like, for once I have no words. I felt optimistic for the first time in a little while in terms of my business. I've also mentioned about how a lot of people feel resistance towards pivoting from wants to needs, and I think I've been doing that because that's where my head has been at as well. And what Cara was talking about was there being a third option. Now, I confess I haven't been watching Cara's channel for a while. There is a reason to that. That's nothing against Cara. There's actually a couple of YouTubers here that make content within the Etsy and handmade business niche that I really genuinely love. You know, the kinds of YouTubers that you would show up and you would watch them if they were talking about paint drying? Yeah. Unfortunately, I had to stop. I had to put a ban on myself from watching anyone within my niche because I found that it stopped me from making videos myself, which is a bit problematic when I pay my bills with videos. It's like having an itch that you want to scratch, and I usually satisfy that itch by making my own videos. Unfortunately, I found that by watching other people's videos, that also satisfies the itch. And then I end up either not having any clue what to talk about, or at worst case scenarios, there were instances last year where I just turned up and went, I've got no video, because I just didn't want to make one. I just didn't have anything to say. So yes, I've banned myself from watching other people's videos and therefore have missed this video. So again, I know I've already thanked you, Sarah, but thank you for sending me this. I'm excited. Right. Yes. She came up with a third category, not just wants, not just needs, but she called it, the category a rationalized want. And I don't want to give too much away because I want you to go and watch the video after this one. But basically, where I was talking about pivoting, I need to say that word more, don't I? Where I was talking about pivoting from want items to need items, because the theory is in times of financial difficulty, people tend to focus less on the want items and focus on the needs first. Cara made the point that people also do have some money to spend, and they also go looking for what she called the rationalized wants, whereas it's not necessarily something that you need. It's not even necessarily a want, but you convince yourself that you need it for one reason or another, and therefore it becomes a need. That was when my mind was like, with all of these ideas just suddenly popping into my head about what I could do for my own shop. And oh my God, it came at the right time, because yeah, I've been feeling very doom and gloomy about my own Etsy shop recently, as I am sure many of you have, which is why I'm making this video. Anyway, I wanted to show you something to demonstrate this. So I'm just going to take off my mic and pause you for 1 second. Okay. Right, mic clipped. I wanted to show you this. This is it going to focus? Fine. Well, you can see what it is. It's an enamel pin, and I bought it for my daughter the first time they went back to school following lockdown in 2020. This is not a need. I didn't need this pin. My daughter didn't need this pin. We certainly didn't wake up and go, you know what I want? A Pinky Promise enamel pin. Pinky promises are just something that we do, and she was feeling a little bit anxious going back to school, and she needed that extra reassurance. And so I had this idea for something like a Pinky Promise that she could wear and see while she was at school that might give her a little bit of reassurance every time she saw it. And so I literally went onto Etsy looking for something that we didn't want necessarily, we didn't need, but it became a rationalized want. This popped into my head the moment Cara started talking about rationalized wants, because that's exactly what this is. Now, don't get me wrong, I was aware of people buying things to make themselves feel better. I was also aware that there are certain niches where people will justify spending money as a need, even though it wasn't necessary. And in Cara's video, she gives the example of baby wear, which is just perfect, because the amount of stuff, I nearly swore, the amount of stuff I bought for Alessi when she was a baby that she did not need, but in my mind it was like, no, we need this, it's for the baby. Did she need it? Did she heck? I mean, that girl couldn't even hold up her own head. She did not care, but that's by the by. And Dan, my husband, he is such a magpie when it comes to buying things, and he does it. He likes to purchase stuff. So even though we are in a position of needing to rein it in, he's looking for reasons to buy stuff. So his purchases are getting more and more practical, but they aren't necessarily needs either. I still think we didn't need that drill, bud, but I'm just saying. He bought a drill that I didn't think that we needed. He says he did. He has promised me he's going to make me a bigger embroidery thread storage, so if I put it in the video, then he has to do it. But getting back to the topic at hand, even though I knew about this in terms of being a motivation for people to buy, I had never thought about it in terms of it being a category, like want items being a category, need items being a category, and feel good items being a category. That was the part to this video that kind of blew my tiny mind. And it's also just flooded my brain with all of these ideas about how I can apply this to my own shop. And this is why I wanted to come on here and talk about this video that I've watched, because if it's had that effect on me, it might have that effect on you. And ironically, this has just popped into my head now. This video about seeing items as a feel-good item has given me the feel-goods. Just allow it, okay? For the first time in a long time, I'm feeling excited and optimistic about my shop. And I'm going to be honest, for the last month, 2 months, I've not been feeling that way. And I know that a lot of you haven't been as well. So I'm going to stop waffling now. What I will say is go and watch Cara's video, give it a thumbs up, all of the good stuff. Thank you, Cara, for making this video. Thank you, Sarah, for sending me this video. And I think it's going to be there. If not, it's going to be over my face. But go and watch the video, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.